welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to Two Wheel Zeal. So I wanted to do a video today based on the Husqvarna Norden 901 that I've got, and I've had it for about 6 months now. I thought I'd do a bit of a review on it and discuss things I like and things that have bugged me a little bit since I've owned the bike, and hopefully it might help anyone in the market who's looking to maybe buy one or certainly has one on the short list to look at. So I'm going to go through a few things, made some notes because I'm not very good at remembering stuff, and I'm going to start off with the pros really, in terms of some of the things that I really liked about the bike, which led me to buy it. And the first thing really for me is the looks. It's completely unique. I don't think there's another bike out there that I can think of that's similar. It's quite retro. It's got the big sort of round headlight in the middle, but yeah, for me it was a really nice looking bike, something a bit different, and it was also the brand as well in terms of Husqvarna. It's got a bit of pedigree and some heritage to it, so I really took to it and liked it over some of the others. So I know it's very similar, same sort of platform really to an 890, but for me it was a little bit more relaxed, less aggressive off-road type of bike that I was after. So for me, yeah, looks definitely very unique and really nice styling. So that's one of the first things I really like. I've had it, as I said, for 6 months. I've done a few little trips on it around the UK, nothing too crazy. But it's, like I say, it's not, I think it's about 900cc. Can't remember off the top of my head, probably should know that, but perhaps I'll put it in when this video goes live. But again, it's got plenty of power. It's 105 horsepower, I believe, and for me on the road it's absolutely ample. I've been on pretty much every type of road, motorways, A roads, B roads, and I've not, 105 horsepower is plenty for me. I've got a Super Sport S Ducati, that's about 115, and again, not crazy amounts of power or horsepower numbers, but again, perfect for me for the road, so really happy with that. It's got a quick shifter, as most bikes have nowadays, or most modern bikes tend to have a quick shifter. My Ducati's got one, this has got one as well, and for me it's a really nice, it's a good quick shifter, it works very well. You can turn it on or off on the screen settings on the bike, and I think you can also just have it so you can use it for going up as well. I'm not so sure, but don't quote me on that, but I can find out and again put it in there for you. But yeah, really nice. What I will say is that it does want a little bit of a positive touch on it. So don't be too light with it. Be quite assertive with it. Be quite positive. Use it in anger. It seems to favour that rather than being a little bit too hesitant. It doesn't seem to like that. But again, I don't think that's just unique to the Husqvarna. I think that's every bike that I've had with a quick shifter is exactly the same as well. So you've got to be quite positive with it. But it's nice. Works really well. Another thing that I'm really pleased with is the comfort. I've ridden it all day, and it doesn't get uncomfortable, to be perfectly honest. It's quite nice. The way I've set it up, nice reach on the bars. I think there's about 3 different positions you can have the bars, and you can put risers on them if you want, whatever your preference may be. But the seat's wide enough. I haven't got the rally seat. I've got the sort of 2 separate seats. But it's fantastic for me, very comfortable. And like I say, I've been on it all day. And I haven't really had any gripes, and I don't really get off the bike feeling too achy as well. So for me, that's a really good positive. It's not got the heated seat. Personally, I don't know. I've not ridden a bike with a heated seat. I suppose it's very nice when the weather gets cold or gets a bit wet. So it's maybe an option that you may want, or if you're used to that, you can certainly have it as an option. There are bikes out there with the heated seats, and I'm sure there's aftermarket things you can buy as well. But for me, fantastic, very comfortable. You can use it all day long. So yes, I don't have a pillion, actually. I should mention, I don't really ride with a pillion on the back, but if I did, there's ample space to have a pillion and then also get luggage on there as well. And yeah, it's for me, it's perfect for what I want. Speaking of luggage, I use Krieger. I've got the US packs. I think I've got a 20 and a 10 pack. And there's loads of options, loads of mounting points. You can buy all the aftermarket luggage, you can buy the OEM sort of stuff, and it just clips onto the bike. And there's also lots of space on there, which is really nice. I went to Last year, took my Ducati, my Super Sport, down to the south of France, and I used the Krieger setup. And I know they're two very different bikes, but it takes up a lot of the space on the back seat, and you certainly know about it. But with this, I've put the luggage on, and it's fantastic. You don't even know it's there, and you still get all the space, and you can get your leg over the bike, so you can get on and off with ease. And the same if you're going to take a pillion as well. I don't think that would be a particular problem at all. So really, really good. Very, very happy. A couple of negatives I'll say with the bike that I know of, that I'm aware of. I've had that, like I say, I've had it 6 months. The only issue I've had with it is that it started to leak a little bit of coolant after, maybe 3 months from the famous thermostat housing. So what I did, I didn't mess about with it. I just went and bought a CNC, or nice CNC billet aluminium housing. It's fantastic. I think it's about 20 quid actually. Really, really good quality. And I did the work myself. So if you got some sort of mechanical knowledge, you don't have to be sort of a master technician to be able to do it. But it was just a case of stripping the fairings back. Again, very easy to do that. All the bolts seem to be standard in the same size. It may sound quite obvious, but I know that's not the case on all bikes. So it makes taking fairing off and putting back on quite easy and straightforward. And you only need a certain amount of tools to be able to do that. But as I say, it was dripping down. It was coming down onto the sensors, onto the exhaust. It wasn't massive, but it was enough for me to want to do something about, because obviously it's not good to have that, and I didn't want it to sort of grow into something else and become worse. So again, plastics off, radiator forward. I actually took the whole radiator off, and given that I had the opportunity, I put some Samco sports hoses on there. So I took the original hoses off, got some nice stainless steel clips, put those on there, put the CNC housing back on, fresh coolant, put it all back together, and touch wood, I haven't had a problem with it since. So yeah, it's I mean, I've seen on the forums and read on the forums as well that they are warped. They are plastic, that's for sure. When you take it off, the housing or the outlet that the pipe fits onto can be warped or oval. Mine seem to be okay, however it seems to just be leaking for whatever reason. I don't know whether this is something that, or KTM, Husqvarna, they've engineered it out for the 24 model years onwards, or whether there's a fix out there, but I read that quite a few people seem to put these nice CNC housings on there. And like I say, touch wood, haven't had any issues with it since. So that's really, really positive. What else? Negatives? I don't really know, to be honest. Oh, the battery. I mean, it's not really a negative. It's just something that I that I happened to stumble across. I didn't know it's a 23 plate bike. It's only got 3,000 miles on it, so I wasn't quite sure whether it was the original battery or not. But it dropped down to about 12 volts and it wouldn't start. It was just, I think it was the solenoid you could hear or something. You can just try and clicking. It was trying to turn over and clicking in terms of the noise. So a quick check, the battery didn't seem to be too good. So again, really easy to undo it. Just take off the sort of the seat, and there's a little plastic clip that goes over the top of the battery. Take that off, and then the battery came straight out. It was a aftermarket, really cheap Chinese looking battery. Don't know how long it's been on the bike for. I'll put a little bit of a picture in on this video so you can see it. But it swelled and warped and sort of changed shape is the best way I can describe it. So I don't think it was the best quality. And I put a UASA battery back on it. And I've got to say, when I did that, it always sounded like it used to start on one cylinder when it was cold, and it was a bit rattly and a bit nasty. I put the new battery on, it went on the first crank and it fired straight into life on both cylinders. I followed the usual process, turned the key, let it prime, and I was always having that issue before. New battery, it seems to be okay. I did read somewhere that if the voltage or the battery isn't quite up to scratch, then maybe it could contribute to it running a bit weak on cold startup. But since I've done that, it seems to be okay. So yeah, they're the only sort of complaints I've got at the minute. I'm going to use it in anger a little bit more this year. I want to start exploring some of the green lanes or suitable green lanes for it, because obviously it's quite a big bike. But I would like to have a bit of a look around, see where to go. I've joined the TRF, as I said before, and I can pick out a few lanes to hopefully go and use the bike for what it's meant for. So a bit of touring, a little bit of light off-roading, nothing too crazy, but very much looking forward to that as well. I put a quad lock setup on it, which is another pro for me. It comes with the GPS mount, very easy to wire in. So I've got the quad lock wireless charger. I got a nice CNC plate, again £15, that was off Amazon. You can use the existing screws, so undo the 2 screws, put the plate in, but what you have got is the wiring loop in there to be able to just wire straight in, and it was really easy to do that. 2 screws back in, fit the quad lock, and we've got wireless charging and the phone above the screen, and it looks quite, I don't want to say OEM because obviously it's a phone that sits over the top of the display, but it looks quite good. I've got an S25, same sort of size as in terms of width, so it's not massive, it doesn't really take your eye away from the screen, but it gives me all the navigation I need, and I can get access to sort of the OS maps and also the green lane maps as well, which is really, really good. It comes with STR Scorpion, as I'm sure everybody knows, Pirelli tyres. I think they're probably more sort of 70% road, 30% off-road. That's how they're geared up, could even be 80-20. I would be happy to use them off-road on sort of gravel paths, shingle paths, that sort of stuff, but anything, you know, muddy or tree roots, slimy rocks and stuff, you'll probably need to have something very different in terms of tyre to suit that type of off-road condition. But other than that, I can't think of anything. I mean, please let me know in the comments if anyone else has had any problems or any other issues, similar issues. I'd be very happy to hear about that. But for me, it came about because, like I say, I've got the Super Sport and I had a RSV Millie, Aprilia as well, which is a lovely bike. But I just couldn't use it really. It was an outright track machine, or you know, an hour's blast on a Sunday, and I got the bug. So I went with a colleague of mine. We did a biking trip last year, and we went down to the south of France, and he was on a Pikes Peak Multistrada, and I was on my Super Sport, and then immediately really wanted to get a bike that was suitable for travelling, touring, comfort, all of those things really. And for me, the 901 does that for me. Yeah, there's absolutely other bikes out there that people can choose, but as I said, for me, the looks, the styling, a bit of the pedigree, and some of the heritage of the bike was enough for me to sort of to go for it. And I don't regret it. I do really like the bike. I need to ride it more, definitely. It's snowy and icy at the minute, so I'm not really going to go out in those conditions. But I've got a bit of a setup now on the bike, so hopefully you guys can join me when I go out on some of these adventures, and you can see them. You can see them from my point of view. But yes, so looks, power, the quick shifter, the comfort, the options for luggage, the pillion options, all of those things make it for me a really a good choice bike. And obviously there's the Expedition model as well if you want to do a little bit more hardcore off-roading. But yeah, if you can, please like the video, please subscribe to my channel. That would be really helpful for me. And if you want, please leave any comments, any suggestions, anything in the comment section to interact with. That would be fantastic, and I'll try and get back to them as best I can. Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.